Coming up on Dispatch tonight, your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out. Starting right now. Good evening. You're watching Dispatch, the weekly show for model railroaders. I'm Roy Smith. Sadly, we don't have a studio audience with us. They all stayed home because of the showstopper, as Sparky 107 calls it. But we're not going to let the global health crisis stop our show tonight. I am glad that you out there on YouTube could join me. We have a great show lined up for you, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this brief message. On this channel, we share the world's greatest hobby with you in Dispatch every Tuesday night and layout updates every Saturday morning right here. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe. Okay, as I said, we have your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out on Dispatch tonight. First up, your layout photos. Many of you posted photos of your layouts this week in a Facebook group called the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Group, and I have brought your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. Here they are. Remember to go over to the Facebook group after the show and post a photo of your layout there. I will put a link to the Facebook group down below. You will know you're at the right place when you see this photo of Echo Canyon on my layout. Next up on tonight's show, the question of the week. And this week's question is, which type of structure do you most prefer to put on your layout? Here's how you responded, but first, let me mention that based on your responses, I have added 2 categories which I failed to mention last week. You can see those 2 categories here, and they are kits without modification and structures that you create using a 3D printer. According to your responses, the largest number of you prefer to put structures that you kit bashed on your layout. Kit bashing means that you modify commercial kits to fit the space you have for them, to create structures that more closely resemble the prototype you are modeling, or to create structures that are uniquely different from the kits that everyone else is putting on their layouts. Your second favorite type of structures are the ones you scratch build yourself using raw materials such as styrene. Many of you who prefer to scratch build your structures point out that buildings you put on your layouts simply are not commercially available. Structures certainly bring life to a layout, but it's entirely up to you which type of structure to use. In my case, just about every structure is a product of kit bashing. Right now, for example, I'm kit bashing the three main structures in the railroad complex at Evanston, and they include the machine shop, the power plant, and the roundhouse. This kit bashing project is part of the renovation of the Evanston area on my layout. I will put a link to Evanston Renovation 10, Kit Bashing the Railroad Complex, down below. Now, we do have a question for the coming week, and here it is. What do you think is the first decision that a newcomer to the hobby needs to make before starting to build his layout? That's right, the very first decision before he starts spending his hard-earned money and before he starts cutting up his plywood. Be sure to post your responses to this question in the comments section down below, and I will share them in Dispatch next week. Again, the question for the coming week is, what do you think is the first decision that a newcomer to the hobby needs to make before starting to build his layout? And now it's time for tonight's big shout out. And tonight's big shout out goes to Drew Steele 69 and his N-Scale AJS model railway. Drew says he started to build his layout in January 2017. His railroad is fictional, but he is trying to model it after the town of Westerville in Ohio, where he grew up. Back then, the railroad was owned by the PRR, but since then, the AJS has taken it over. I like Drew's layout and his videos, and I think you will too. So let's go over and take a look at a clip from one of his recent videos right now.
Hi everyone, this is Drew Steele 69. Happy Friday.
Okay, you've seen a bit of Drew's layout right here on Dispatch tonight. Be sure to go over to his channel to see the rest of it. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, be sure to do that too. I will put a link to his channel down below. Drew, I like what you've done with your layout. Thanks for sharing it with us here on Dispatch tonight. Now, if you still haven't seen my layout update for last Saturday, be sure to go over and watch it after Dispatch ends tonight. It's called Evanston Renovation 11, How to Kit Bash a Machine Shop. In it, I show you how I am kit bashing the machine shop at Evanston. I will put a link to this episode down below. Now be sure to join me again for my next layout update this coming Saturday. And of course, next Tuesday night for dispatch. There's a whole bunch of donuts in the social area downstairs. But since the studio audience stayed home tonight, I guess I'll have to eat them myself. Thanks to all of you out there on YouTube for letting me share the world's greatest hobby with you. Don't forget, there are a bunch of other videos for you to watch right here on this channel. You can go to 2 of them just by clicking over here. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you model railroaders here on Dispatch. I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.